actually got my finger out my ass. And despite me saying that I was going to go bi-monthly, I'm still monthly because I can't let you guys go without the magnificence that is the Bearded Beard Pod, after all. And to be honest, January was an absolutely fucking amazing month of beers, and there's absolutely no getting away with it. I think the vast majority of the beer I had in January was a 5 out of 5 on Untapped, which, as we all know, is like grown up beer Pokemon. But that's by the by. Let's just talk about what the fuck's been happening. Always worth a stop at a local corner shop because I picked up some really nice Cold Town beers in the Spar in Lookers, of all places. Yeah, I was dropping the youngest off at a sleepover, and I thought I'd stop and get myself a sweetie for the trip home because it's a fucking long drive, and spotted some beer, so I bought it. Great. Oh yes, and massive thanks to Richard Siren Craft Brew, who helped me sort out an order with them, and then basically enabled me to use the abomination that is a 1 for All gift card. So it's a pain in the tits. If you ever get a 1 for All gift card, just fucking cut it up, throw it in the bin straight away. But yeah, what a bloody legend. And I'm sure he's still having a lie down at home in a dark room after the fucking nightmare it was trying to spend this gift card. Cheers, Richard. What's next? So yeah, over the month, I don't know why, but Sugar Babes were on my radio, and it just put me in mind of a wee story from my forthcoming autobiography by the name of Symphony of Triumph: My Epic Journey from Warrior Rockstar to Beer Messiah. So, sit back and enjoy this wee extract. So it was the summer of 2008, and against all odds, I found myself playing bass for the Sugar Babes on their European tour. 1 minute I was in my garage fixing a wobbly G-string with bass. The next, I was on a plane to Ibiza with a suitcase, a hangover, and a growing sense I'd stumbled into someone else's life. Their regular bassist had taken ill. Read into that what you will, but he basically disappeared after an argument involving choreography, a cheese platter, and Keisha's dog. A mutual friend recommended me. He's reliable. Plus, he needs to work. They weren't wrong. I hadn't had a decent gig since that wedding where someone asked if I could play Wonderwall on bass. You can't. At rehearsals, I stuck out like a sore thumb. The Sugar Babes, Keisha, Heidi, and Amel were polished, poised, and dripping with charisma. I was not. My leather jacket had seen better decades, and my bass looked like it had been in a pub fight. It had. But when I locked into the groove of Push the Button, their scepticism melted away. Not bad for an old bloke, Keisha said. I took it as a compliment. The tour was unreal. Glitter cannons, screaming fans, and me trying not to look too sweaty. I threw myself into it, but backstage was trickier. In Berlin, Heidi leaned in over drinks. There's something about a man who plays bass. I panicked, and I mumbled, I'm just here for the music. In Milan, Keisha cornered me with, you've got magic fingers. Ever thought about using them for more than bass? My response, I think there's a sausage roll over there with my name on it. Amel tried her luck in Barcelona. You've got soul, she said. And I blurted, I've got a mortgage. She laughed harder than I'd have liked. By the O2 Arena finale, I'd survived the chaos, ignored the temptations, and proved I just wasn't some pub band relic. As I left, a fan mistook me for a sound engineer. I signed their autograph anyway. After all, who else can say they turned down the Sugar Babes? All for the music. Nice. Before we get into the beers for this month, my top tip for stuff this month is Sheepdog Coffee. Fucking lovely stuff it is. I got their signature roast, and I think I've got the Shepherd's Blend coming in the post the next few days. Yeah, really, really nice coffee. You can have it in beans, you can have it ground to whatever sort of groundy state that you like. And I'll drop their stuff, links and that, in the show notes. But without further ado, let's get into the beers. And the first beer of 2025 is a mustardy nosefuck of a double IPA from Asvex Brewing by the name of Keygen Info. Yeah, my year in beer has a lot to live up to after this fella, that is for sure. And that was 5 out of 5 for the first beer of the year. And Tartarus must have heard me, because there is a double IPA that looks like a piss I did in Iraq after 57-hour duty. But tastes like the time I and then I after in great days. 5 out of 5 again. And the weekend of killer beers continued with Verdant's double IPA, not like me, I know, Unconventional Tactics. It was quite simply superb, and I couldn't even think of anything smart to say about it. Rock on. Another 5 out of 5. What's next? So, I'd never had a Soma beer until that first weekend in January, but their double IPA, named after the doctor that used to come to my running club, is an absolute joy. Real on a roll with this haul from Craft Metropolis, and Creepy was no exception. Excited to try more from Soma in the future. And backstory to that running club. I facilitated a beginner's running club that was mostly female about 6 years ago. But he kept turning up and alternated between calling it runnies with the honeys and trotties with the hotties. Yeah. That was another 5 out of 5. Friday at last. Woo! This IPA from Phantom Brew Company has been named after the phrase I shout when I expel the gel. And I imagine it tastes much more delicate. Slime time is Slime time is delicately understated and refreshing, and carries on January's theme of fucking amazing beers. Now, this was a 4.75, but oh boy, Elm 11's double IPA, they are already here. It's like a pint of sexy alcohol drenched treacle, and I loved it. Again, really on a roll. Happy with my haul from Craft Metropolis. Shout out to them boys. And that was another 5. Woo. Oh yeah, you you eagle-eyed action men will have spotted that I reviewed Flock Brewing's double dry hopped IPA in collaboration with Hop Burns Black when Grace was plying me with booze at the House of Cans. I really lost my train of thought there, didn't I? But yeah, I just talked mince in a live stream. So here is a proper review of Peach in all its glory. I mean, it's just really good, and funnily enough, has a wee peachy taste to it. 25. What? Right, okay, next month I'm writing my notes properly. Sorry, everybody. 2025's beer continue to flick my mud mushroom. And that was a 5 out of 5 again. Factory Brew. What have you done? This double IPA is a danger beer and then some. Cosmic Dance has a kind of milky and light taste that kind of hides its 8% ABV. So you might wake up inside a piano in Barcelona after a couple of these bad boys. And that was a 4.5. Oh, this day had been a bit of a ball ache day, so I picked up that Cold Town Beer IPA named Baltic that I found in Luchers. It's dry and crisp and a little understated, but it helped me unwind and not take a bath with a toaster, so all's good. That reminds me of that song. And that was a 4 out of 5. Looking tasty and smelling like a clogged pub urinal is Cold Town Beer's IPA Robert the Juice, which is named after Mel Gibson's character in Braveheart. Bet you didn't know that. Sturdy, strong, fusty, and musty, and that was 4.25. I'm absolutely loving the work of Flock Brewing right now, and their Pale Ale Lucky Sun is riding my taste buds like a horny cowboy in a buckaroo. What? January has really been a kick-ass month for beers so far, and that was a 4.5. Picking it up again, a factory brew, and White Dog Brewery collab came up next. It's called Golden Slumber. Is that not a sex thing? Am I thinking something else? Anyway, it's double IPA, and it's a beer equivalent of a rusty pair of those shoes you wear to aerate your lawn to the frenulum. Dry January is kicking my ass. And that was a 5. Grand. Oh, here we go. Right. Side quest Saturday. So I was meant to meet a friend. It got called off last minute. So I headed into town, Edinburgh, for those of you that don't know what town. And I decided that I was just going to go to places that I'd never been before, and or have a drink of something that I wouldn't normally have a drink of. So I started off in Vault City's tiny wee tap room, the wee vault, and I had a wee vault wagon. It smelled funky, it tasted like wet jam, and I don't think it was for me. But that was what the day was all about. But that was a 3.25. Yeah, I cheated after that. State of Kind Brew and Vault City's double dry hopped IPA double dry hopped pale ale, it says. Weird combo. It's called Paper Mountains. It's fucking brilliant, tell you that. Could have done maybe in a tad cooler, but that is the curse of those weird open chiller things. And that was 4.5. I went to the Oxford bar after that, for those of you who are fans of Rebus, and I had a Jarl. Now, I've had that before, really enjoyed it, but on tap it was lacking something, which was a shame, because this fine ale's golden ale is usually crisp and tasty. It wasn't crap, don't get me wrong, there was just something missing from it, and that was 3.75. I got a 10 quid fine on the tram because it arrived and I jumped on, so I didn't have to wait for the next one. Cunts. And I had a Moonwake XPA from Moonwake. Bet that up all night thinking that one up. It was light and fluffy and very agreeable. That was a 4.5. So, Phantom Brew's IPA Core of the Haunted is a nasty little slut with daddy issues that needs a spanking and then some. Initially smooth and then does something sexy to the back of your tongue. Me likey. That was 4.75. Baron Brewing are really twiddling my sensitive left nip at the moment, and their New Zealand Pale Ale, Hugh done it as a real funky mud pie and a beer. A 3-course dinner followed by some light BDSM in a glass. That was 4.5. Awesome. So I was up in Aberdeen with the eldest for a university open day. So I made my excuses and went to the pub. I was driving, so I went to the Fierce Beer flagship bar and had some fancy juice, alcohol-free IPA. It's not the best AF IPA I've had, but it was alright for what it is. Yep. First time in the Fierce Bar Aberdeen, and it was a cool venue with some cracking tunes. I gave that a 3 on the nose. But do you know what? After it warmed up a bit, it was actually pretty good. Mission complete. I've got a Wingman alcohol-free IPA. I was this to explain the mission complete thing. So I took my my Brewdog passport with me and got a stamp in every Brewdog bar in Aberdeen. Woohoo! But yeah, Wingman alcohol-free IPA. It tastes alright. It was very watery, I think. But again, totally fine for what it is. Cool. Made it home, and I had a Finback Brewery Field Soft Tall. feel stuffed. Oh, fuck. I do it every month. I never split out these fucking hashtags. Fields of tall grass. I'll let that out, don't worry. Nobody will ever know. John Woo kicked me in the tadger and ran off laughing. How they made this double AP simultaneously smoking fiberglass and drinking milk and marshmallows is anyone's guess. That was a 5 out of 5. Woohoo! Return to form. I did not want January to end at this point. Killer beers up the yin yang, and Shine Like Billions from Pentrich Brewing was no exception. This double IPA tastes like pissing diamonds until your plonker is split hog's eye to stump and flapping in either direction like some demonic banana split. Like when you're cooking sausages and you split them in half and put them in the pan to brown the insides, they start curling out the way. Anyway, that was a 5 out of 5. Oh, fucking hell. The music. Oh, here we go. The last 3 beers of January, which again was a fucking amazing month for beers. An exciting beer was what I had. It had coffee in it. Yep. Dry Bones IPA from Siren Craft Beer. Might be paler than a Scotsman on the first day of summer, but it had a bitter kick to it that reminds me of a really good cup of coffee. Looking forward to trying another one I got. That was 4.5. Oh, Jesus, what state this. Double Dream Temple Triple IPA from Pentrich. Oh, it's the beer equivalent of Marcellus Wallace getting bummed in Pulp Fiction. That's all you need to know. That was a 5 out of 5. And I went a bit crazy. I had 3 beers in one night at home. Woohoo! Yeah. So I had Crab IPA from Shelder Brewery. It was my last beer of wet January, and it was a bloody keeker. Rich and plump like Mr. Crab's buns and twice as pumpable. And that was 4.75. And so we come to the end of January's pile of shit. I've stopped touching my microphone. That makes that funny noise. Anyway, before I leave you, I just want to have a wee serious moment. And I know it's not like me, but you know, some folk are having a really shitty time of it at the moment, and that ain't cool. Just be nice to people, as I mentioned many times before. But just now, just reflect for a moment on something that feels so simple, but it carries some really profound weight. Enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. We often live as though time is an endless resource. Days roll into weeks, weeks into months, and before we know it, years have slipped through our fingers. We tell ourselves, I'll get to that someday, or I'll take the time to enjoy life when things settle down. But here's the truth that most of us avoid confronting. Someday is not a guarantee. Think about the things you truly cherish, the moments that bring you the deepest sense of joy or connection. Maybe it's the laughter of your children, the warmth of a partner's touch, or the sound of your favourite music filling the room. Maybe it's as simple as sitting in the quiet of the morning with a cup of coffee, or as grand as standing at the edge of the sea, letting the waves wash over your feet. How often do you pause to let yourself feel those moments? Not just experience them in passing, but to truly inhabit them, to let the joy sink in. We're so caught up in our daily routines in the pursuit of what's next that we rarely stop to savour what's already here. The phrase, enjoy yourself, it's later than you think, isn't a warning. It's an invitation. It's not about fearing the passage of time, but embracing the gift of it. Every day we wake up is another chance to live, not merely to exist or to tick boxes off a to-do list, but to truly live. Living doesn't have to mean grand gestures or extraordinary adventures. Sometimes it's as simple as giving yourself permission to slow down. It's allowing yourself to linger over a meal with friends, to watch the sunset without glancing at your phone, to laugh until your ribs ache. These moments, though they may seem small, are where the richness of life resides. But there's something else to consider. It's not just about you enjoying life, it's about helping others do the same. Ask yourself, how can you bring joy to someone else's day? Maybe it's a kind word, a small act of generosity, or simply listening without distraction when someone needs to talk. When we create moments of joy for others, we find that our lives often become fuller and more meaningful. And yet there's a paradox here, isn't there? We live in a world that tells us to do more, achieve more, be more. We're told that success lies in productivity, that happiness will come once we've climbed the next hill. But what if the secret isn't in reaching the summit, but in noticing the wildflowers along the path? What if we stop waiting for the right time to enjoy ourselves and realise that this moment, right now, is the only one we're guaranteed? So here's my challenge to you as we part ways today. Take stock of your life, not in terms of what you've accomplished or what you own, but in the currency of joy. How many moments have truly made you feel alive? How often have you allowed yourself to laugh, to love, to marvel at the beauty around you? Remember, the clock is always ticking, but that's not a reason to panic. It's a reason to prioritise what matters most. It's later than they think, yeah, but that's all the more reason to start now. Say the words you've been holding back. Take the leap you've been afraid to take. Let yourself feel the sun on your face and the wind in your hair. Life isn't waiting for you to be ready. It's happening all around you, in every breath and every fleeting second. So, don't just let it pass you by. Grab hold of it, relish it. Most importantly, enjoy it. Thanks for spending your time with me today. I hope that you'll leave after this little chat feeling inspired to embrace life more fully, to seek out the joy in the everyday, and to remember that it's not too late to live the life you want, if only you start now. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, enjoy yourself, because it's later than you think. Knob jokes back soon. See you next month.